Hi there, this is Sun Singh. I'm a real estate consultant with more than 10 years of experience, and I'm also a Singapore backstreet boy because I'm born in a poor family. Now, before I start today's sharing, I'd like to make a disclaimer that my sharing is purely educational basis. Now, today the topics that I'm going to share is the 6 important steps that you must do when you are viewing a flat. Now, who is this video for? This video is for those people who are planning to upgrade or purchase a flat. And in case you need an alternative opinion, go to www.sbbcode.com. So before I start sharing the first step, now I'd like to share with you the golden advice I have as a buying agent for the last 11 years. This is always I shared with my buyers. Now, any flats that you're going to buy, be it a 3 rooms, 4 room, 5 rooms, executive or jumbos, now bear in mind that you should buy something that you like and the next buyer must like. But you will think, wait a minute, Sun Sing, I'm buying for myself. Most important, I must like my flat. Yes, I agree. But would you also agree that all of us, we do not have a crystal ball. We do not know what's going to happen in the future. What if one day you need to sell? So if you have started in the beginning that when you buy a flat, you buy something that you like and you buy for the next buyer, chances that one day if you need to sell, your next buyer will be there because you really have crafted your exit strategy. But on the contrary, if you buy something that you like and you do not bother to buy something for the next buyer, and if one day you really need to sell, there is no buyer, so what will happen? You have to drop prices. I'm sure that you do not want these things to happen to you. So without further ado, let's start with step 1. Now step 1 is to get the official figures before you even start shortlistings viewing. Now the website that I would suggest that you could go is www.hdb.gov.sg to find out what is the recent transaction price at the cluster that you are looking for. Now, once you have this figure, put it down in the Excel sheet so that when you look at all the property listing on the property portal starting with the P or the 9, then you know that whether, okay, this is how much, okay, that you should be paying for. Now, in today's context for COVID-19, most of the HDB listing for sale, they are asking for cash over valuation. Short term, we say COV. Then when you look at the photos, you should ask yourself, now, with all the renovation that are being done, then by a look at the photos and the videos and the floor level, then you should ask yourself whether should you be going for the listing? Because when you go for a listing and if you like the unit and you make offer, now be prepared in today's context, you have to pay a certain amount over the valuation, like 50,000, 60,000, and most of the time HDB won't be able to match because it is really way high above the valuation. So if that 60,000 when can save you up on the renovation cost, and if it's of a reasonable floor level with good facing, then I think perhaps it's worth to give it a thought. But if the listing photos suggest that the renovation is dated, low floor, then maybe I would suggest that you don't waste your time to look at the listings. So in case you need an alternative opinion, go to www.sbbcode.com. Now let's move on to step 2. Step 2 is to check out what are the good schools surrounding the cluster that you're going to buy. Some of you will be thinking, hey Sun Sing, I'm a single, I don't bother. But remember my golden advice, buy the flat that you like and buy for the next buyer. Now I'd like to share with you my own story. Now when I bought my first flat, I also bought something that I like without considering for the next buyer. And the flat that I bought was within 1 to 2 kilometers to Rosa Primary School. And so when I want to put my children in Rosa Primary School, now on phase 2B, the administrator called me and said, Mr. Neo, I'm sorry, I think that you need to pull out application because for phase 2B, 0 to 1 kilometer, there's already 40 people fighting for 20 places. You have no chance. So sadly, I have to go to a school to withdraw my application. So my 2 cents worth of opinion is if you are buying a flat, try to get a flat that's within a good school, because when you are within a good school, there will always be kiasu parent. Next time they want to put their children in a good school, most likely if you're selling, they will be the next buyer. So in case you need an alternative opinion, go to www.sbbcode.com. Last but not least for today's sharing is to go onto the ground and check what is the surrounding amenities. Now I know there are technologies like Google Earth that you can launch it from your laptop or desktop, but personally experience share that that when you go down to ground, it is different, so that you know that the travel distance from the cluster that you want to the surrounding amenities like the go and buy groceries, coffee shops, or even MRT, LRT. You know what's the exact distance, and you can get a good feel of what's happening at the cluster itself. Now please do not just try using Google Earth. I would suggest that you go down. So before I end today's sharing, I share with you first and foremost the golden advice. Now when you are planning to buy a flat, please remember, buy a flat that you like and buy for the next buyer, because the moment you have this concept, you implement it, you really crafted your exit strategy. Now step one is to go to www.hdb.gov.sg to check out the recent transaction price before you check out the listing on the property portals. Step 2 is to use onemac.sg to check out what are the good schools surrounding the cluster. Try to buy a flat that's within 0 to 1 click to a good school, so that next time when you sell, the next buyer will be ready, and most likely you'll be a cancel parent. Now the last step for today is to go down to the actual ground to check out the actual amenities, the traveling distance to the MRT or LT. With that, I'll come to end my sharing, and if you like my sharing, like it, share it to your friend, forward to them, and leave a comments. Now if you have any question, leave it down there. I'll try my best to answer them. And finally, stay safe, have a good day, and speak to you tomorrow.